Hello. In this video we're going to learn how to collect an input from a user for the value of a variable. So the very simplest way to do this is, let's say we want to know the user's name. So name there will be the variable, and then we just say input, and then we open our brackets, and in talking marks we put the question that we want to ask. What is your name? There we go. Close the talking marks, close the bracket, and that will actually work. So if we run that, it will allow me to type in Mark, and that'll be the end of the program. Well, let's put in another line just so that we can see that it really is working. So we're going to print this variable called name, and in actual fact what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of text in front of it to say hello, comma, and then name, and I'm going to put a comma between the literal text and the variable so that those two things can exist happily on the same line. So let's see that in action. What is your name? Hello, Mark. Fantastic. So that will do, but I want to go a step further. What I want to do is actually set this up so that if the user doesn't put anything in, it does some validation and it prompts them to put their name in. So to do this, the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set myself up a variable called valid input. There we go, valid input equals false, and you'll see that that false turned purple, which lets me know that I've typed that Boolean value correctly. And now, under here on the next line, I'm going to ask them, I should have done that with a small w, while, what did I call it, valid input, there we go, while valid input equals false, so that tests if it does, then, and I'm putting the semicolon on the end to make that conditional, then you're going to do this bit in here. Well, what we're going to do in there is we're going to ask them what their name is, because it's going to start off being false, so we are going to ask them. Now, we're then going to test it and we're going to ask a question. So if, now, here's what the question is. So if the length of name, so len name, is greater than 0, so in other words, did they put something in, then I'm going to change valid input, which I just, there we go, valid input is now going to equal true. So now I'll be broken out of that while loop because it starts off as false, but once I've checked that it's in fact got enough characters in it, then I allow the program to continue. So let's see that in action. What is your name? I just hit enter and it keeps asking me what is your name. But when I type something in, it says hello. So there you go. Not only do you know how to collect data, but you know how to validate it as well.